Hello, and welcome to the Assigning Coupon Codes and Username Password Pairs in Qualtrics tutorial video. I am Paul Byrne, Research Data Services Librarian at Syracuse University Libraries. What we will cover today is, there are times when you offer coupons or some other incentive for people to respond to your survey. Usually these coupons are in the form of codes that can be used for online purchases. There may be other times you will need to assign a username and/or password pair to another website for your respondents to complete another survey. These are usually provided to you in a list, either in a spreadsheet or just a plain text file. You will need a way to assign the code or passwords to each respondent. This tutorial will focus on surveys distributed via anonymous links. If you are distributing your survey with a contact list, then the easiest thing to do is to add the codes as an embedded data field in the contact list. That way the codes will be available to you throughout the survey rather than just as an email at the very end. With the method described here, the codes or username passwords will be emailed to the respondent once they have completed the survey. There is no way to display it on the web page at the end of the survey, and obviously you will need to collect their name and email addresses. This method is used to assign a code to every respondent. If you only want to assign codes to a sample of respondents, as in a raffle, then you can either use a workflow to add respondents to a contact list, then create a sample from that list, or you can download the data to Excel or SPSS, sort it randomly, then assign the codes to the first however many respondents you want to send the code to. The basic steps are, first you need to create a Google Sheet with at least 2 columns. One column will be numbered sequentially from 1 to however many codes you have. This will correspond to the quota you will set up in the survey. You will also need one column, of course, to hold the various codes. Then you build your survey. As stated earlier, you must collect the respondent's email. You can see tutorials we have on anonymity in Qualtrics on how to collect contact information for an anonymous survey. You will then set up a quota to limit the number of respondents to the number of codes you have. This will also serve as a lookup value in the Google Sheet. Then you will create a contact list to hold all the email addresses and assigned codes. This serves as a record of who got which code in case they lose it. Finally, you will need to create a workflow to look up the code in the Google Sheet, email the assigned code to the respondent, and add the email address and code to the contact list. Let's take a look. And here we are in our Google Sheet, which I have already set up, and we have 2 columns, one called quota count, and this is just numbered sequentially 1 through 50, and this will be 1 through however many coupon codes you have or username and password pairs you have. And another one for coupon codes, and I simply made up these codes for demonstration purposes. This could also be a username and password pair. If you are provided the username and passwords in separate columns, one for username and one for password, that's fine. Just go ahead and leave it as is. You'll just need to do a second lookup for the other item. That will make more sense when we do the actual lookups in a moment. And that's basically all you need in your Google Sheet. It must be a Google Sheet because it won't work with Excel or any other kinds of files. So let's go into our Qualtrics survey, and here I just have I'm asking for some very basic information, first name, last name, and email. These you can put at the end of your survey if you like, or if you need to keep it separate from the main part of your survey, it will be in a second survey. Either way, what we do from this point will be the same. So the first thing you need to do, once you have your survey all set up, of course, is come over here to Survey Options and set up the quota. So come down here to Quotas and add a quota. And here it says the new quota, it's set to 100. We're going to change that to 50. And for your purposes, it will be however many codes or username password pairs or whatever you might have. And then increment the quota when a response is submitted that meets the following conditions. And we'll just choose question, and we'll say email. And email is not empty, meaning that they actually filled it in. When the quota is met, then prevent all new survey sessions. That means anything, once a 51st person comes in, they won't be able to take the survey. At that point, you can either keep and record the quota or delete it. Either way, it won't make any difference for sending the information to the respondents. We'll click Save. Now we'll go back to the main part of the survey. And now we really get into the meat of how this will all work. We go to Workflows, and we're going to create a workflow started by an event. This will take a moment to load. And the event will be a survey response. What do you want to look for? A newly created response. Then we click Finish. And we see the first step in our survey, in our workflow rather. We'll click on this little plus sign and add a task. And the first task we are going to do is come down to Google Sheets. And then we will look up data in a Google Sheet. And next. And it will ask you to add a user account. That, of course, is going to be the Google account. So we'll click here. And then you can name it whatever you like. At this particular point, it doesn't matter. And then click on Connect Account. And depending on what you've done previously, you'll be given choices of whatever Google accounts you may have connected already for, say, a previous survey, or if this is your first time around, it will ask you for a particular account. For right now, I'm going to use Research Data Services. and it says it already has some access. At this point, most likely you will get the single sign-on or some other way of logging into your Google account. Since I've already done that, it skips that step. So it says see the two services. I'll show that just. See and download all your Google Drive files. See, edit, create, and delete all your Google Sheets spreadsheets. We'll click Done, and then we will click Continue. And if everything went okay, you'll see the account name, the connection type, and the owner. So we'll click Next. Then it'll ask you to select the Google Sheet file. And so we're using coupon codes. And then you can even select individual tabs within that file. Ours only has one. And the key column, as it says, the column to perform the search on. Unfortunately, it doesn't read the names of the columns, but we know that the quota count is in column A, and that's what we're looking as the search key. And then we'll come over here for the search key value, and we'll click on the piped text and scroll down to quota, and we have the new quota and count. Now the lookup column. This is where the columns you've stored the coupon codes or the username, password pairs, etc. Again, it's ABC. We know that it is in column B, so we'll select that and then click on Save. The next thing we can do is click on the plus sign, add another task, and this time we're going to choose XM directory. This is how we add the person with the coupon codes to a contact list. We'll say add to XM directory. I'll ask for a contact list. We're going to say new contact list. Give it a name. And save. Now we have to fill in the fields for the contact list. For first name, we'll go to survey question, first name. Same thing for last name. And same thing for email address. And now we'll go to add or remove embedded data fields. This is where we pull in the quota count and the coupon codes. Click Add Contact Embedded Data Field. And the first one we will call quota count. And we'll come over here to the pipe text icon and go down to quota. Click on New Quota and Count. And we'll add another contact field. And we'll call this one coupon code. just like we did in the Google Sheet. And come over to the pipe text, and now you'll see there's information from the available task. And it says TD1 lookup data in. And that comes from the first task. We'll see that in a second. Click on lookup data. And just so you can see how this looks a little bit different from typical piped text. And it says lookup data. And we'll click close. It says update recipient from survey response. That's fine. And we click save. And one more task, and this one, to email that information to your respondents. So in the to field, go to the pipe text, survey question, email. However you want to fill these out are fine. Subject. When, immediately, or whenever you want it sent. And then you can write in your message. And again, we'll go up to the piped text. And we have the task data, the lookup data. Now, one thing I need to mention about this piped text from the task, this is only available within this particular workflow. If you go back to the main survey and try to pipe in text from the task, say into a question or something, you will not find this option. It only works within this workflow. And you can do, include the response port or show the full question text however you like. And then click Save. And that is basically how you set up the workflows. Come back over here. We'll click Close. You see we have this new workflow. Always make sure that it's turned on. I've tried to run workflows and then it doesn't work, and then I figured out, oh, that's because it was turned off. It wasn't running in the first place. So now we can go ahead and test all of this. You always want to test, of course. So first thing we need to do is click Publish and save everything that we've done. Click Publish again. Now we can go to Preview. And it can take a couple of minutes for the email to show up. And here's the email. And you can see it says, here's your coupon code 1111. Thanks for responding. Let's go back and look at the survey. Close up the preview. And let's take a look at our contact list. Coupon codes way at the bottom here. You can see we have one person. If you click there, you see there's the embedded data has quota count and the coupon code. Let's go back to the survey. Let's take a look at the quota. And you can see that there is one has been taken up. As you're testing this and you're ready to send it out for real, you want to come over here and click on reset to reset it back to 0. Otherwise it's just going to keep counting from wherever you are. And you certainly don't want that. So come over here to save. You can go back into the main part of the survey, and of course you would need to publish since we changed the quota. And that's how you can send your respondents coupon codes for online purchases or username and password pairs. So, in conclusion, you can use Google Sheets to assign coupon codes or many other things to respondents. Using workflows and contact lists, you can look up and assign the codes as well as email the codes to the respondents. Thank you. We hope you found this tutorial helpful. Please also watch our other Qualtrics and research methods tutorials at the websites listed below.